Paul, this is an urgent plea for people that aren't exercising to begin to exercise.
I love urgent pleas. I like when there's passion and urgency.
I was at this expo for diabetics, Diabetes Expo at St. Joe Hospital, and had a booth set up, and pretty much everybody there was diabetic or pre-diabetic. And this lady came to my booth and said, "Oh, I should probably do your program. I've heard about it." She said, "But if I need to take time to exercise, I won't be able to do that part because of how busy I am." And I didn't say it out loud, but I looked at her and I thought in my mind, "Well, welcome to the Diabetes Expo. No wonder you're a diabetic." We have this mindset that exercise is optional. I do it if I have time. It might be a good idea. And in my mind, it's like, do you know you're a human being, right? I mean, it's like if you were a Ferrari, you're trying to decide if you should leave the garage. I mean, people will literally wake
So wait,
up.
you would say that exercise is that integral to a Ferrari that doesn't leave the garage, or I've heard you say a bird that doesn't fly. Like exercise should literally be that synchronized.
It's like I'm a surgeon and I'm trying to decide if I have time to do surgery. It's like, what in the world? The weird thing is that we would go months and not exercise. I remember one guy, he said my gym membership, he said it's $600 a visit. And I was like, what do y'all do? He said, well, it's only because I just go once every 6 months. It's like, so that's how much it costs me every time I go. Yeah, it ought to cost you that much because you ought to be doing it regularly. The lady that said, I missed my exercise yesterday, that makes 10 years in a row. It's like, okay,
So tell me this. Where, because obviously you and I
obviously.
I take that back.
Obviously.
That's not quite what I meant to say. What I meant to say is like, you and I like to exercise. It is in our weekly routines, without fail.
Correct.
And
I don't know that I would put the emphasis on like to exercise.
We do it.
I like to play pickleball.
Okay.
But the workout that I do, some days I would prefer not to.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah.
Let's just get honest here. The urgency that we titled this video, why the urgency though? Because people might be like, sure, exercise is good if I want to look fit, and I'm sure I know, I'm not a doofus. I know there are health benefits, but it's just not part of my prioritized routines right now. Where is the urgency coming from? Like, do you really think it's that huge of a deal?
Yeah, obviously we think differently than that person because I'm not buying it when that person starts explaining why they don't exercise. I mean, I've done groups with a couple hundred people in a group, and I'll ask them, now, who of you in this group has a legitimate excuse, a legitimate reason for not exercising regularly? And I'm like, please, somebody tell me. And I had one lady in my group that was in a wheelchair, had no use of her legs. Well, she didn't give an excuse. She said, I exercised, and because you should. I don't know anybody that's not a good idea for. So I think we need to realize we have this mindset that it ought to be an optional thing when I'm not busy. And that's, again, it's like it's a bird saying, if I'm too busy to fly. It just doesn't make any sense to me, which is part of the reason I do it. When it makes sense to you, when you can legitimately say, well, here's why I don't exercise and it makes sense. Okay, well, no wonder you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
It needs to be bizarre that you don't do it because I'm convinced that that's the reality. I'm living in a more reality to me, and I put this out there to others to
not just
you
your
judge
reality.
it, but I think I'm living in a greater sense of reality than the person that says, here's why I don't exercise. To me, that's a false reality. That's not even real because it's not true. Whatever you're saying is built on something that's not true.
I saw you tweet something, and it was a little savage. By the way, if you're not following Trainer Joe on socials, make sure you're following him. Lots of good content. You tweeted this. Let's see if you stand by it.
I think I know where you're going with it. We were made to be fit and healthy, but we've given in to a generation that is entitled and indulgent.
Ultimately, that's what it is. We were created to be healthy and strong.
Healthy and strong.
But instead...
I was watching something this morning.
And I really like that, by the way. I like the way it was worded. I shared it on my Instagram.
I saw that. Thank you.
Yeah.
The greatest defense against aging is blank. You know what it is? The greatest defense against aging is muscle.
Muscle. I was going to just say exercise.
Muscle. Having muscle on your body. There's studies done with how many how long does it take you to get up off the floor? How many pieces of your body need to be on the floor? Both hands, both knees for you to get up, or can you just stand up? They can tell you with a good amount of accuracy how long you're going to live based on can you get up? How strong are your legs? They can with a surprising level of accuracy say if your legs aren't strong enough to do this or this, you're probably going to die within this many years. It's what we're doing when we don't exercise is basically preparing our bodies for a casket. And we explain it away. Here's why. I had this shoulder was so bad years ago, Paul, that I couldn't sleep. I was taking meds that I wasn't comfortable with.
I remember that
Had
season.
injections, had an MRI, and the doctor said I had a torn rotator cuff, a leaky bursa sac, and a frayed labrum. And I was like, oh, wow. And then doctor was like, I'm not sure surgery is going to help. And I couldn't do a push-up. And I was like, in my mind, I'm like, wow, I'll probably never be able to do a push-up again in my life. Never do a bench press beyond 15 pounds, which for those of you who don't bench press, a baby can do that.
Let's just say you won't need a spot.
Won't need a spotter, even if it lands on my face. The point is, I was like, okay, I'm not going to be able to do what I would really like to do to look and feel good. But you know where my mind went? And I'm not trying to put myself up.
I know exactly where your mind went. It wasn't, I have this injury, so I'm no longer
a bird.
I'm going to scrap working out. It was, okay, compute. Make adjustment. How can I still strengthen this?
Can I get in the pool?
Without, you were still going to.
Can I ride my bike?
Right.
I'm still going to exercise. I was very disappointed. Now, I will say, as a believer, I prayed, said, God, help me with this. I did therapy. I paid money. I did exercises. I learned more about it. And I don't know which of those things caused it to be better, but it's great. No surgery.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord for that. But even if they had to cut my arm off, I'm not going to suddenly say, well, I guess I don't exercise anymore. No, you gotta decide, I'm a healthy person. I'm a person. I mean, really, I would just say, you got to decide, I'm a person. I'm not a log. I'm not a chair that just sits there. I mean, one of the things that was tough for me years ago when I was in the insurance business was sitting all day. Yeah. And the older I got, I was like, man, I'm going to get varicose veins. I'm going to be constipated. I'm not moving. My circulation's bad. And it was happening. I'm like, people, if you are sitting all day long and then you come home and sit, it's death by sitting.
Well, and hey, I like your program. I refer to a decent amount. You don't require a ton, even though I think maybe deep down you're like, I hope that when they go through this 21-day transformation, they will continue to develop more exercise routines than just what you require. But your requirement is 20-minute walk every day.
That's right.
To me, and again, maybe call us radical, but I'm like, that easy peasy, dude. That is what you do in your sleep.
Which is why I chose that as part of the program. It's embarrassingly little.
20 minutes
It's a
walking.
low bar. But if they're not doing anything and asking somebody to do something for 20 minutes, whatever it is.
Okay, and so there's where I need to have empathy. Because I've been doing this for how many years? 3 times a week, plus pickleball. This is my life, but for someone that maybe that's just for whatever reason, it's not been part of their life, exercise, 20-minute walk. I think that's great. And I've heard the health benefits of walking is big time. Big time health benefits.
Do we really have to go into the benefits
do we even
of
have
exercise?
to go into
it?
Please.
Google it, for crying out loud.
Not just physically, but mentally.
Mentally, just saw an article today how it benefits Alzheimer's. Exercise strengthens the heart and cardiovascular. We know that. Helps blood flow even when you're not working out. Reduces the risk of arterial plaques that might disrupt blood flow to the brain and contribute to dementia. What else do you need more? I hesitate to even give the reasons you should exercise and just be like, duh.
Well, you know the cool thing
what do you do?
Your trainer Joe truly focusing on weight loss more than exercise. At least your public.
You do not have to exercise to lose weight.
At least you
need to exercise to be strong.
Your public content deals much more heavily with. I mean, look at his other videos, weight loss. But it's interesting. We've been singing the praises of a lifestyle of exercise, and we haven't even mentioned the weight loss aspect, and it can and should. It's a great fuel. It will fuel your weight loss. It can.
Yeah, well, that's interesting because with me, my weight has been pretty steady, and I would work out and do work and all this, and then we picked up this pickleball thing a year and a half ago or so, and suddenly I'm leaner than I've ever been, and it wasn't on purpose. It just that kind of happened, you know. So that's fine. That'll happen, and things happen accidentally. But I didn't do it for that. I did it because I'm enjoying it. You need to have a routine. If your job, we had guys putting in a retaining wall in our backyard, and I'm sitting there watching them out my back window, and I'm like, they do not need a gym membership. It's like, how in the world? And to be fair, okay, so if we want to look at muscles, okay.
Just show us, dude.
I've got this going on right here.
Unashamedly.
Okay, unashamedly, because, hey, there's nothing special about that. That is an obvious non-steroid muscle. But it is a muscle. And if you don't have anything there, and I know yours is smaller, but still. If you don't have any,
no.
But still, I mean, I'm just saying, if you don't have something, I've had people that have asked me before, and I'm 60. Okay, I'm 60.
Yeah.
But I've had younger guys. Man, I just want to look like I work out, you know. And they'll compliment me and say, you know, you look like you work out. And I'm like, guess what? I work out. I've worked out for 50 years. 50 years I've been working out.
You haven't worked out
Nothing
for 50
special.
years.
Then when I was a teenager, and I'm 60, so that's 45 years.
45 years.
And I played around with it when I was 12 and 13, so almost 50 years.
All right.
Regularly.
Okay.
It's just foreign to me that you would go months, and it's like, I don't. And some people say, well, I don't know what they're saying they do. I take a shower. I'm like, that's great. You know, I don't know what to applaud here.
I fed the cat.
I fed the cat. That's good.
Hey, are we being too callous? Somebody, listen. Someone accused us of being a little on the show, on the Trainer Joe Unfiltered, which granted, this is
unfiltered.
It
but
does
yes.
say unfiltered.
And the person that got on us, I love, I appreciate.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
She's great. She's done marvelous. I'm just thinking we probably said something that hit her wrong. Maybe she's been through something and it hit her wrong. Or maybe we were too...
Maybe an episode she saw.
We went too far on something. That could happen.
It can absolutely happen, especially
I'm
with
not
these
blaming her.
longer form.
I want constructive criticism on this. If you got something negative to say, share it with me.
Especially these longer form episodes. You never know.
I'm going to say something, and I know.
But generally, there's been very good feedback. But
yes,
we're not trying to be too flippant here.
No.
But the reality is we believe in what we're saying, and we're willing to just say it. We're willing to just say
What's your excuse?
What's your
excuse for not doing some form of exercise 4 days a week? Okay, and I would say start with the walk, right? Because if you're not going to walk 20 minutes, you're not going to join the gym, and you're not going to
give them
push-ups.
Give them a practical roadmap. If they have not been doing it, and they're like, okay, I'm going to do it. What do I do, Trainer Joe? Just tell me exactly.
Well, a lot of people, did play sports in high school, and they have some level of knowing what to do. What a lot of people will do is make an excuse. They'll say, because I don't know how to do it right, I'm not going to do anything. Same with the diet. Because I don't know which diet is really the healthiest, I'm not going to worry about it. And that's a cop-out.
It's a cop-out.
I get it, but it's a cop-out. Because the 20-minute walk, okay, if you say, okay, I've been doing a 20-minute walk for 3 years, okay, good. At least you showed some level.
It's important to you.
That it's important to you. If with the excuse, I don't know how to do it just right, well, nobody said you need to do CrossFit. So I would say, what we did in our family, me, you, your mom, we all hired a trainer years and years ago who we knew was smart, was good, could tell you how to exercise right. We wanted to go into this with some level of confidence, and we already had some level before that, but we wanted to take it up a notch. Yeah. I would say hire a trainer if you don't already know with confidence how to work out, and work with them as long as you need until you feel comfortable that you can do it on your own. If that's 3 sessions, great. If it's 3 years, whatever. But you've got to decide. If your reason is because you can't afford it, that's bullcrap. Because there's people that are just getting started, that are wanting to train people. I remember when I started, I put out an email to a bunch of people. Free. if you want to do it, there's YouTube for free. There's
That's
plenty of
so
free
true.
material
That's so
for
true.
you to know how to work out. Ideally, I would hire somebody to walk you through it.
Or yeah, that's good. No, that's good.
And then on your own, move your treadmill from your 30 below degree barn or garage
This is good.
to where you watch TV
Put
4
it in
hours
your
a night.
Stinking living room.
Put it in your living room. Oh, well, it won't look good in my house. Well, you got a clean house and a fluffy, unhealthy body. Great. I'm so glad you got a clean house. Oh, crap. I'm sorry. Boy, your car, I remember one of my neighbors, good neighbor, good friend, he politely told me where I could get my car washed.
Okay.
And his is immaculate. He's immaculate. He politely told me, hey, there's a car wash over there.
Oh, that is.
It's really good. And I was like, bro, you trying to tell me something?
Just
I'm
go
like,
and tell me, bro.
It's not got bird crap all over it. I just don't wash it every week. And he was, in his mind, you should wash your car once it's obviously not spick and span.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You got a great car and you're obese. No, that does not make sense to me. Now, can you do both? Yes. But if you're going to choose one, a clean living room, a sparkling car, or a body...
Sounds like you have some unresolved... Sounds like you have some
childhood issues.
Unresolved childhood issues.
I got some childhood issues.
Have you
I'm sorry.
tried to approach this guy and heal? Yeah, I think you need some healing.
And just people, to me, it's like, I get it, and we got problems, but one thing, there's certain things we should not neglect.
And this would be one of them.
And one is, you never exercise? Okay, that's that. And until you've heard this, maybe this is shaking you up, like, oh, wow, these guys make total sense. I hope so. Because it seems to me pretty reasonable.
It seems reasonable to me as
sorry.
well. I think of like some of my friends. Great guys.
Great
seriously.
guys.
No, listen.
When they don't work out, what's wrong with them?
No. Hey, great guys, but exercise just isn't a priority to them. And they're not They're not overweight.
They're hard workers. They're good family men.
Exactly. Not overweight.
They're active in their church. They're not overweight. What do you say to that person?
I mean, maybe
You lazy bum.
No!
Cut that part out.
No, I mean, sorry, we need to reel it in. We do need to reel this one in. Hey,
Reel me in. You're the real in guy.
what I was going to say was, and some of them may be working on their weight a little bit, but from what I'm thinking, weight isn't a primary issue. They're 30 years old, and exercise isn't a priority. Would you give a little grace to a 30-year-old?
Nah. Your kids are going to grow up, and then you're going to, and one of them's going to be a little overweight, and you're going to be like, hey, Billy, and he's going to be like, hey, Dad, I've never seen you work out a day in my life. Oh. And you're trying to tell me that I'm a little chubby for the baseball team?
Hey, okay. Hey,
I can be the catcher.
Hey, have you been drinking caffeine? Okay, hey, guys, cut it.
Cut it.
Cut him. He's cut off.
Cut me off. Change this to the Paul and Morgan show.
You are cutting loose, my friend.
Okay, well, what are you going to say? You need to be an example.
And
And I know they're busy, but here's the thing. Again, the guy that's a young dad, and he's taking care of his family, and he's working hard, and he's doing all this, and he's like, well, I don't have time for CrossFit, and my buddy hurt his back. Can you walk 20 minutes a day, bro?
Yeah.
And do some push-ups regularly?
And it
Not
helps
once a year because you want to see how many you can do,
tell
but
you what,
regularly.
No, at any age, a 25-year-old, a 30-year-old.
They are. I always wonder why my neighbors who are 15 and 18, I'm like, well, you'd be better off if you worked out. What are you doing?
There's
Playing video games all the time and you don't have time to exercise?
So many benefits. Confidence. It helps mentally. It helps physically. It's going to...
Don't even need to go into that.
You don't even need to go
really
into it.
don't
You
know
don't even need to
all
go
the
into
benefits
it.
of exercise.
Helps with
Get a daggone Google.
mental health. No, seriously, I agree. Dad, I must say, even though there have been a couple times where I'm like, ooh, dad's riding that line, getting a little passionate, maybe controversial, I have agreed with everything you've said, and I approve of the way that you've said. I give my stamp of approval, and that's me going out on a limb. Because, I got a reputation to uphold.
I know.
But even in your zeal,
Hope you survive this episode.
me too. I hope we don't get canceled, but I am giving you my stamp of approval
Good.
on how you've said things.
All right. I hope that encourages some of you to get your... You know what the hardest lift is? Because they talk about the hardest lift.
He's still
is
going.
your butt off the couch.
Oh, no. Guys, comment below. It's been I turned into a pretty passionate episode. I knew when he announced to me that this was going to be the topic, it could go there. Comment and let us know, because there are going to be people that watch mostly for his weight loss content.
Give me, yeah, I would love a comment on here's why I don't think I should exercise.
So if that's you, comment and let's discuss it in the comment section. But also those who have that's not been a focus, you haven't been exercising. What did you think of this episode?
And we did say, if you have a job, if you cut wood, you're good, okay? If you build fences, digging ditches, you're out there moving, but don't tell me why I work at Penny's and I have to hang up clothes. I'm not talking about that.
Right. But comment and let us know how you felt about it, and let's keep the dialogue going.
Dialogue.
Awesome. All right, guys, let's do this. Till the next episode, make sure you're subscribed, because we got lots of spicy content. This Unfiltered podcast, it gets unfiltered. We warned you guys. Trainer Joe, train your brain.
And transform your body.